Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the Finance 360-degree sessions in which we cover the relevant and important finance current affairs, the RBI notifications, the RBI press releases which are important from your examination perspective. Okay, so today I have brought for you two important news articles that we are going to discuss. Give me a thumbs up if I'm clearly audible and visible. So I hope I'm clearly audible and visible. Just give me a thumbs up. Okay, so today we are going to discuss the two important news articles. One is regarding the NPCI that has extended the timeline for the UPI apps. So what is this extension that we will discuss? And next news article is about the RTGS and NEFT. So there is the lookup facility that has been introduced. So RBI has released this notification. So this we are going to discuss. Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to the session and good morning to all of you. So let's get started with today's session. And before starting with the session, do subscribe to the YouTube channel of EduTap and do join our Telegram channel in which you will get the PDF of the session. So the PDF of the session you will get in the Telegram channel and the link for the Telegram channel is provided in the description box below. Okay, so starting with the first news article that is regarding the NPCI extends market cap deadline for UPI apps. So see, in 2020, there was a press release that was released by the NPCI that there is going to be volume cap for the third-party application providers. You can understand that the PhonePe and the Google Pay, they are the third-party application providers. They are the third-party application providers. They are the application providers that are providing the UPI linked application, okay, through which we are able to use the UPI. So they are the payment system providers or they are the third party application provider. So in 2020, it was said that in view of the recent growth that is happening in the UPI transaction volumes, so in the UPI transaction, there is the increase that is happening, and NPCI has analyzed the risk in the UPI ecosystem because there were only a few big players that were handling the transactions. Okay, they were handling the majority of the transactions. Now you can understand that if PhonePe is something happens to PhonePe and PhonePe shut down, so the transactions will be handled by only Google Pay. And what if the Google Pay also faces some problem? Then the whole of the digital ecosystem will be shut down because majority of the customers are connected with PhonePe or Google Pay. So it was said that as the UPI transactions are increasing and more onboarding of the people is happening, so there is some risk that is attached, that is the concentration risk, as the customers are getting concentrated in these applications. So to reduce the risk and to address the risk and protect the UPI ecosystem, there will be some guidelines that will be followed. So first of all, it was said that the payment service providers or the third party application providers, they shall ensure that the total volume of transactions that they are initiating or they are undertaking through the third party application provider shall not exceed 30% of the overall volume of transactions processed in UPI during the preceding 3 months. So the idea is that a single third-party application provider, should not have more than 30%, of the UPI transactions initiated. So that there is a limit that was imposed by the NPCI so that there is the concentration risk that is originating should be reduced. Okay, so to reduce the concentration risk, this kind of decision was taken, and it was said that this limit of 30% will come into effect from January 1, 2021. That is, from January 1, 2021, the third party application provider should not be undertaking more than 30% of the total volume of UPI transactions as compared to the overall volume of transactions in the preceding 3 months. Now, the existing third-party application providers, that is the PhonePe and the Google Pay, they already had more than 30% of the UPI transactions initiated through their applications. So it was said that the 2-year time period will be given to the PhonePe and the Google Pay to reduce their UPI transactions and to reduce their UPI transaction volume to come lower than 30%. Okay, so the existing third-party application providers that are live currently as on the date of the circular, who are exceeding the cap of 30% will have a period of 2 years from the aforesaid date to comply with the same in a phased manner. They have to reduce their initiation of transaction. They have to reduce the UPI volume transaction to less than 30% or to the 30%. Okay. Now what happened later on? So the news currently, what is the news currently? So what has happened that the NPCI has extended the deadline for implementing the transaction volume cap. See, so you can understand that in December 31st December 2024, this is the article that is released by the NPCI. So NPCI has said that on 5th November 2020, there is the cap that was imposed of 30%, that a single third-party application provider, a single provider should not have more than 30% of the volume of transactions under the UPI. And this limit had to be followed from 1st January 2021, and there was a time period of 2 years that was given to the current third-party application provider. Then in December 2022, there was the extension of timeline that happened. So after this, like it was said that in 2 years you have to achieve the less than 30% or 30% of the cap, but then it was extended. The timeline was extended and more time was given to the third party application provider in December 2022. Okay. Now again in December 2024, on 31st December 2024, the NPCI has said that we are further extending the timeline by 2 years. Okay. So you can understand from 1st January 2021, 2-year time period was given. 1 year is December 2021 and the second year will have finished by December 2022. But in December 2022, it was announced that for 2 further years, in December 2022, it was announced that for 2 further years, the timeline is extended for the current third-party application providers. So the timeline was extended to December 2023 and December 2024. So by December 2024 or from 1st January 2025, the third party application provider would have to follow this 30% of the limit. Okay. So this is the idea that in 2020 circular, 2-year timeline was given, and in 2022, the further 2-year timeline was given. Now on 31st December, there was a guideline that was released. 31st December 2024, there was a guideline that was released that further 2-year timeline will be given. That is 2-year extension has been given. Okay. That is till December 31st, 2026. So from December 2024, you can understand from December 2024 till December 2025 and till December 2026. So this 2-year extension has been currently given. In December 2024, this was announced that further 2 year of extension is given for meeting the deadline. Okay. So or for meeting the percentage. For meeting the percentage, there is the deadline that has been extended. So this is the second time that the NPCI has extended this deadline, because last time in December 2022, the deadline was extended, and now again in December 2024, the deadline has been extended. Now the latest development is expected to provide a much needed relief to the market leaders, that is PhonePe and Google Pay, which process the lion's share of UPI transactions. PhonePe process 47.8% of the UPI transaction and the Google Pay processes 37.02% of the UPI transaction, and they have the main responsibility of decreasing the UPI transactions volume that they are undertaking to 30%, because they cannot extend it more than 30%, and the timeline has been extended for them to December 31st, 2026. Okay, so this is the idea that the timeline has been extended mainly for these market players so that they can decrease their share to 30%, and the NPCI and the other market players has said that it is the need of the time for more players to enter the market, because when the more companies enter the market, or when the more players enter the market, then there will be diversification that will happen. The customers will get the choice to, let's say, we can shift to some other application. Okay, right now there is mainly two application, phone pay and Google Pay. Many of the people have lost their trust on the Paytm, but still many people use it. But many of the people don't use Paytm now, they focus on phone pay and Google Pay. So when a new player enters the market, when the new applications enter the market, then only the share of the phone pay and Google Pay will decrease, and for that the timeline 2 years has been taken, that in the coming 2 years it is expected that new players will enter the market and the share of phone pay and Google Pay will eventually decrease. Okay, so this is the main idea, that there is too much concentration of UPI volumes that is happening with phone pay and Google Pay, so that has to be decreased, and the timeline has been extended till December 31st 2026. I hope this is clear. So UPI clocked 155.44 billion transactions this year as of November 2024, a 32.2% increase from 117.58 billion transactions in the previous calendar year of till the November 2023. There were transactions that happened this much, and there is the increase of 32.2% of the transaction. Okay, the figures for December 2024 are yet to be published, but till November 2024 there is the UPI transactions that happened of 155.44 billion, that is 32.2% higher than the previous year, and these transactions are expected to increase further and further, for which we need new players. Okay, so this is the idea. Any confusion anyone has in this news article? See, the NPCI is afraid about the concentration risk. Okay, and if the NPCI is releasing the guidelines that the companies have to decrease, the companies will have to decrease, because the UPI system is the system that is NPCI's system. It was originated by NPCI. So I hope you understand that if NPCI is releasing a guideline, the companies will have to follow. Okay, the private companies will have to follow. And concentration risk has to be decreased. That's why NPCI has released such kind of guideline. But NPCI also knows that this takes times, and that's why NPCI is extending the timeline. Okay. Now coming to the next news article, this is easier one. Simply what has happened, that when you make the UPI payment, now when you put some number, let's say I'm putting this number, and putting this number, I will see that okay, this is belonging to Mr. XYZ. So when you are making the UPI payments, or even in the IMPS payments, there is the beneficiary name that is shown, that okay, who will be receiving the money. So it makes it easier. Okay, how the company, sorry for like there is a query. So how the companies can reduce the volume? So that is by stopping the onboarding of new customers. So it was one of the provisions that was given, that stopping the onboarding of the new customers, or by restricting the transactions on their app, like only 5 number of transactions you can make, or such kind of restrictions can be imposed. But the companies are not going to do so for now, because it is expected that the new companies, new players might come into the market, and those new players will eventually by themselves will take away the share from these phone pay and Google Pay. That's why the timeline has also been given, so that the new players can enter the market. Okay, otherwise the company, that is phone pay and Google Pay, will have to stop the onboarding, and that the NPCI do not want, and that's why the extension of timeline has been given to phone pay and Google Pay, so that this time is provided for the new players to enter the market also. Okay, now coming to the news article. Now any further query I will take at the end of the session. Okay, so UPI, in the UPI, whenever you want to send the money, whenever you want to do the transaction, the name is shown. Okay, if you are putting the mobile number of a person, so the name is shown that okay, this mobile number or this UPI account is connected with this particular name. So currently the UPI and IMPS systems enable a remitter or the sender of money to verify the name of the beneficiary before initiating the transfer. Before initiating the money transfer, you get the name of the person. It has been decided to put in place a similar facility for the RTGS and NEFT also. Okay, for the RTGS and NEFT also. So the RTGS is the real-time gross settlement, and the NEFT is the National Electronic Fund Transfer. RTGS is the real-time gross settlement, and NEFT is the National Electronic Fund transfer system. So for these system of the RBI, it is said that there will be a naming facility that will be provided, that the beneficiary bank account name will be shown to the RTGS and NEFT, which is not currently applicable. Okay, so in the statement on developmental and regulatory policy document that was released in October 2024, it was said that for RTGS and NEFT also, the beneficiary name will be shown. Okay, the beneficiary name for which you are sending the money, that person's name will be shown. So accordingly, NPCI has been advised by the RBI to develop the facility and onboard all the banks that provide the RTGS and NEFT. So basically, for the UPI system, for the IMPS system, there is already the system through which if you are putting the details of a person and you want to send the money to this particular person, you are putting the mobile number. So the name of the beneficiary will be shown. But in the RTGS and IMPS, for the RTGS and the NEFT, this kind of facility was not provided. You were not able to see the beneficiary name. But now it has been said that the beneficiary name will be shown. Okay, so to ensure that remitters using RTGS and NEFT, to ensure that the sender of the money using RTGS and NEFT systems can verify the name of the bank account, can verify the name to which the bank account is linked, to which money is being transferred. So for ensuring this, a solution for fetching the beneficiary name is being implemented by the NPCI. Now this will reduce the problems, this will reduce the mistakes that happen, that maybe you are putting wrong IFC or you are putting wrong account number and maybe the money is going to someone else. So such kind of problem can happen because you are not able to see the beneficiary name till now. But now, to reduce the frauds and to reduce the mistake, it is said that if you put the details of the person, the name that with which the bank account is linked will be shown to you. Okay, so the beneficiary account name will be shown to you under RTGS and NEFT system also. Okay, so RTGS is the real-time gross settlement, that is on real time the settlement happens of money, and this is usually used for the large amounts. Okay, and the minimum limit is there in the RTGS. Anyone knows about the minimum limit in the RTGS? Anyone knows the minimum limit in the RTGS? And in the NEFT, NEFT is the National Electronic Fund Transfer. So there is no minimum limit in NEFT. This is usually the transfer. Let's say you want to transfer 2 lakh rupees, which you cannot do through the UPI, or you want to transfer 1,50,000 rupees, which you cannot transfer through UPI. Even if you want to send 1,10,000 rupees, you cannot send it through the UPI. So you are sending it through NEFT. NEFT, now it is not in real time that the transfer is happening. Under the NEFT, the transfer happens in batch, or there is a particular time that is allotted, and on that time only the transfer will happen. So you can initiate the transaction at 12 p.m. let's say, but let's say the transaction will finish at 2 p.m. Okay, so this is the idea. Yes, for RTGS the minimum limit is 2 lakh rupees. So real time gross settlement, this is usually of the higher amounts more than 2 lakh. There is no maximum limit. In NEFT there is no minimum limit, there is no maximum limit. Okay, so RTGS and NEFT, for both it is said that there is the beneficiary name that will be provided with the bank account details. So the facility shall be made available to remitters through internet banking and mobile banking, as well as the facility shall also be available to the sender of the money if they are visiting branches for making the transaction. Then also they will be shown the beneficiary account name for them to verify that okay, this is correct, and to proceed with their payments. Okay, so to ensure uniform experience for the customers, the bank shall adhere to the instructions that provision to verify the beneficiary bank account name has to be provided in the internet banking and mobile banking, as well as there should be provision to re-verify a registered beneficiary also, and the beneficiary account name provided by the beneficiary bank shall be displayed to the remitter. So there should be the provision to verify the beneficiary bank account name. There should be provision for re-verification also, and at last the beneficiary account name should be shown to the remitter. Okay, So this is the basic idea. So both remitting bank and the beneficiary bank shall preserve the detailed log of all the queries that the people are making. Maybe people are confused about a particular thing. So people can make the queries to the bank, and the bank has to maintain a log of all the queries that the people are sending to the banks. Okay. Responses received. So what are the response that is given to the bank, and what is the response that the bank has got back, and all other activities as part of the beneficiary bank account name lookup facility. So anything that is related to the beneficiary bank account name lookup facility. So in this case of the facility, as this is a new facility, so there might be some problem that might arise, or there might be some confusion that might arise. So in case of those confusions and queries, a log has to be maintained by both the remitting and the beneficiary banks. Okay, because not all of the people are financially very aware, not all the people are hearing to videos like this, right? So they might not know about it, that how the process will happen. Okay, so NPCI shall not store any data relating to this facility. So NPCI do not have to store any data relating to this facility. The remitter bank and the beneficiary bank has the responsibility to resolve the disputes, if any arises, by using the unique lookup reference number and the corresponding log. So if there is any dispute, so that has to be handled by the remitting bank and the beneficiary bank. NPCI should not intervene in that case. Next is, while providing the facility, bank shall ensure to comply with legal provisions related to data privacy, because if you are showing the beneficiary bank name account, so you should not be providing too much of the data. Okay, so data privacy is very important, that has to be catered to also. So while providing the facility, bank shall ensure to comply with legal provisions related to data privacy. Beneficiary account name lookup facility shall be made available to customers without any charge, without any further or additional payments. So there is no additional payments that should be taken from the customer. All banks who are direct members or sub-members of RTGS and NEFT are advised to offer this facility no later than 1 April 2025. That is, from this date onwards, all the banks that are providing the RTGS and NEFT have to start providing the facility. Okay, so this is the idea. Okay, any confusion, anyone? So before discussing the questions, let me show you. So this is EduTap's website. If you go to edutap.in, you can go to this website and you can go to the free material. In the free material, we are providing you the blocks. The blocks are provided to you so that you can know more about a particular exam. Let's say you are preparing for the RBI Grade B exam, or you are preparing for any particular exam. So if you want to know more about that exam, you can go to the website, you can go to the free material block section, and in here you can get the exam information. You can even know about the strategy, and you can even see that how the toppers have achieved their dream, what strategies they adopted. So you can read the success stories. Okay, so this is the idea, that you can read the success stories of the toppers, that from which background they belonged, and if you relate to that background, you can read the success story. Okay, and if you go back to the main page, in the courses section, you can see the courses, what off you are getting, what facilities you are getting, who will be teaching, what will be taught to you, what is the price of the course and everything. So you can see all of that in the website in the course section. Okay, so this is the idea. Now this is the first question. I hope you will be easily able to answer this question. This is regarding the new facility brought for the RTGS and NEFT. So here, which of the following statement is or are correct, that you have to tell me. Okay, now here, this is the second question. Basic question is there. You just have to know about the percentage, and you just have to tell about the percentage. Okay, so try to answer that question. So thank you very much. Any question anyone has? Okay, Guru Raj, I will see the RBI website. If I find such master direction, I will discuss it with you. Okay, I will have to see that when it was released, because yesterday I saw the RBI website, I didn't find any of the master direction. Okay, you can tell me in the comment section the date, because in the notification and the press release section I didn't see it, but I will check it. I will recheck it today, but you can also tell me the date when it was released so that I can check the particular date. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you for joining the session. If you have any query, you can comment down below. Okay, If you have any query related to the session, you can comment down below. The PDF will be provided to you in the Telegram channel, for which the link is provided to you in the description box. And do give me the right answer of the homework questions. Okay. Yesterday it was released. Okay, then I might not have seen it. I will see it. Okay. First, and I will see that when it can be covered. Okay, then I will see it, because yesterday I saw the website in the morning. At that time I didn't see any master action. So it might have released in the afternoon or evening. Okay, I will see. I will see if it is relevant from your perspective or not, and what changes has happened. I will see that, and then I will bring a session on that. Okay. So don't worry about it. If something is released in RBI website, I will cater to that. Okay. Okay, then thank you everyone. Thank you for joining the session, and let's meet in the next session. So thank you till now, till then, and